Holy flippity flip flop flapping smokes, everyone! Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, the two richest men in America, have just put out a terrifying warning. They're warning us about what's going to happen with the economy, what's going to happen with stocks, and people, you need to pay attention, because maybe you won't listen to a crazy YouTuber like me, but when two of the wealthiest men in America are saying things are getting bad, you know it's time to buckle up. And we are seeing some huge developments in the markets. We've seen rapid volatility. We've seen markets rebound over the past couple of days. But people, this is just a short squeeze. This was because there was huge amounts of puts compared to calls in the markets. And with the 10-year treasury rising higher, with inflation getting worse, we haven't even felt the pain of these interest rates yet because they've gone up so rapidly. So people, if you haven't been listening, if you haven't been paying attention, it's time to pay attention now. Okay, everybody, let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into the news, the facts, and the data. Holy smokes, everyone. Look at this. Elon Musk dreads Twitter takeover and possible recession on Tesla earnings call. Now, remember, earlier at the start of the year, he was saying the recession is going to be coming 100% guaranteed, and he was right. But now it's starting to affect his company's performance. They didn't quite hit all the goals they were hoping to hit, and Tesla has been crashing and crashing bad. So for those interested, Tesla reported $1.05 in adjusted earnings per share, ahead of expectations of 99 cents on revenue of $21.45 billion, lighter than the $21.96 billion expected. Now the thing with Tesla is they can't just hit expectations. A lot of investors expect them to exceed expectations because they already have such a high price to earnings ratio, and a lot of future earnings are already priced in. And something that's very unfortunate that I watched in the investing space last year, when you had what I called the cult investing strategy, where people would turn their investment strategy into some kind of cult. You would see the AMC and GME, the apes cult. You would see the doggy coins cult, the cryptocurrencies cult, the Cardano cults, the Cathy Wood cults, and the Tesla cult is the biggest of them all. And what I saw investors were doing last year was heartbreaking. When the market started to crater a bit in November and December last year, and a lot of those other speculative stocks crashed, I would watch a lot of these Tesla channels, these people that do a lot of videos on Tesla. And what I saw a lot in the comments is, okay, I've lost, 40 or 50% on these stocks. So what I'm doing now is, because Tesla was still going up in November, is they're saying, I've gone all in Tesla. I've sold everything and put everything I had, my life savings, in Tesla. Well, people, this has been very unfortunate for them. And a lot of people have lost nearly everything. Look at this. So we can see here, Tesla hit a peak of around $409 per share. They've had a lot of stock splits in November 2021. And look at this, from peak to trough, it is down now 50%, and it's down 6.25% in the after hours. So people, don't ever become a cult or a fanboy investor. It is going to get you ruined. Never marry an asset class. Me, I'll invest in anything when the opportunity arises. Me, I've never invested in bonds because I thought the bond market was in a bubble. But if TLT falls 50%, you better believe I'm going to be tempted to start buying some bonds. If Bitcoin falls back down to $10,000, I'll be tempted to get in there. When stocks crash, I'll be tempted to get in there. We'll say bottoms in a couple of years, I'll be buying there as well. Remember, wealth is not always destroyed, it is simply transferred, and you have to educate yourself across all other asset classes, gold and silver as well, so when the opportunity arises, you can pounce, because it won't always be a great time to invest in stocks, gold, silver, real estate, etc. Every single asset class has their cycle. But back to these warnings, everyone, and what we need to pay attention to. Shareholders asked Tesla executives about macroeconomic issues impacting their business in and beyond China. Well, everyone, this is definitely a big issue. We're seeing China today still going into lockdowns. We're seeing they're still shutting down cities. Companies are leaving China in droves. And remember, China is the biggest manufacturer for the world. So even though they're the second biggest economy, they are the biggest manufacturer in the world. So if they keep going into lockdowns, this is going to be more pain for the rest of the world. They said China is experiencing a recession of sorts, mostly in the property market. So like I warned about everybody, this Evergrande collapsing would have a huge effect on China's economy. And guess what? They haven't even released the GDP data. We already knew they were cooking the books, but now they've cooked the book so much, they've burnt the book and it's evaporated. They're not even going to release the book anymore. That's how bad things are getting. Europe has had a recession of sorts driven by energy, he added. North America is in pretty good health, although the Fed is raising rates more than they should, but I think they'll eventually realize that and bring them down again. So China, the second biggest economy in the world, is in a recession because of property and because of lockdowns. Europe is in a recession because of energy crisis and crazy inflation. And the biggest economy in the world is going into recession because of high debt costs and because the stocks are going to crash. And once the housing market crashes in the US, that's when the recession is going to go from bad to worse. And they're saying here, they're having hopeful thinking that they'll bring them back down again. But they don't say when. It's not going to happen in 2023, everyone. And Elon Musk is still going to have to sell a considerable amount of his portfolio to fund the $44 billion takeover of Twitter. And maybe he could be doing that right now, and that's why Tesla stock is crashing so much. But you may think, oh, that's just Elon Musk. He's always warning of recessions. No big deal. Well, again, people, it's not just Elon Musk. Look at this, what Jeff Bezos is saying now. So Jeff Bezos is the latest to warn on the economy, saying it's time to batten down the hatches. If you haven't battened down the hatches yet, well, your hatches are about to go flying. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has become the latest corporate leader to warn about the state of the economy, cautioning that rougher times are likely ahead. And I'll get into in a moment, people, how I've got some new shocking data that proves this. It's not just speculation from these billionaires. In a tweet posted Tuesday evening, the former president and CEO of online retailing giant echoed comments that Goldman Sachs chief executive David Solomon made to CNBC earlier in the day. Look at this tweet, everybody. Yep, the probabilities in this economy tell you to batten down the hatches. Because look at this new report, everyone. Wow. Forecast for US recession within a year hits 100% in blow to Biden administration. Bloomberg economists see a near certainty downturn will start next year. And they pretty much say what I've been trying to warn about for a year now. Inflation's going to stay elevated. Interest costs are going to go higher, and we're going to see massive defaults and massive bankruptcies by all these zombie corporations that can no longer stay alive with free credit. Goldman Sachs Solomon, the head of Wall Street financial giant, said it's time for both corporate leaders and investors to understand the risk of building up and to prepare accordingly. And it's not just Goldman Sachs. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon has been warning of troubles ahead, saying recently that the situation is very, very serious and that the US could slip into recession in the next 6 months. Now, some people may think that this is peak fear and this is capitulation and it's actually bullish, it's time to get in now. Well, people, why this normally can be the case, unfortunately, a lot of investors on Wall Street are still in denial and there's still lots of pain coming. And look at this shocking new report to say how bad it really is. Because I got a comment in my video today. He said, I see all these YouTubers with these shocked faces and saying the stock market's going to crash. There's nothing happening. And I commented, what do you mean nothing's happening? It's happening right now. We saw a financial crisis in the UK where pension funds nearly got bust. We had the highest inflation in 40 years. We're at risk of World War III. And now we just got this report where this specific portfolio has crashed the most it has in 100 years. Look at this, classic 60-40 portfolio investing strategy sees the worst return in 100 years. So all those people saying, where's the crash, Michael? Well, they must have never studied history or they must have no idea how markets work because bonds are down over 40%, the Nasdaq's down over 30%. And remember, this is not the bottom. Markets don't just collapse 50% overnight. These people must not be very educated. They must think that a market crashes, stocks crashing 80% or the stock market going to zero. No, it doesn't work like that. The biggest crashes in history take years to play out. And there's lots of bear market rallies that get people suckered in. So look at this chart, everybody. This is shocking. See this area here, 1929, the Great Depression. Look where we are now. It is worse than the Great Depression. So hello, newsflash, the crash is happening. It's time to wake the heck up, everybody, because if you don't start paying attention now, if you don't start preparing right now, you're going to get wiped out and lose everything with all the other delusional investors on Wall Street. I've been trying to warn everybody about this coming. They didn't listen, and I don't know what more evidence I need to show you that things are very, very bad right now. So everyone, I know you're thinking, well, okay, what does all this mean for you in simple terms? What this means is everybody, the 1%, they're getting prepared. They know this is not the bottom yet. Interest rates are going to keep going higher. We're going to have some volatility along the ride, but it's time to buckle up because stock prices still have a fair bit to go before they hit the bottom. Because we haven't even officially entered a recession yet, but once we do, we're going to see a lot more fear, and that's when we may see the bottom. So everyone, what do you think about this? Let me know down below. Now, for all my loyal viewers and subscribers still watching, you're awesome. If you haven't already, please drop a like and subscribe. I normally never ask, but hey, maybe I should. Thanks for watching again. I'll see you all in the next video.